Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. We're specifically going to talk about the Dungeon Master bullet point problem. All right, I'm sorry if you don't know what the dungeon, and we're going to talk about the Dungeon Master bullet point problem, acting. And if you don't know what the Dungeon Master bullet point problem, I apologize. You have some homework. In a doobly-doo below, you'll find a link to a video that sets the stage for this video. Without that, having watched if you don't know what Dungeon Master bullet point problem is, you won't have the context for this video. Apologies, I only do it so I don't repeat myself in a lot of videos. All right, let's move forward. Acting. It is a discipline you must master for dungeon mastering. I'm going to make a confession. This is the discipline I am struggling the most to master. So why do you need to be a good actor to be a good dungeon master? By the way, I think actor is used for male and female now. I think it used to be actor, actress. Now people just say actor. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. But when I say actor here, I mean male and female actors. Okay. All right. So why do you need to master acting to be a good dungeon master? Well, a lot of players are very responsive to a dungeon master that moves their body and picks up, like, moves their head, moves their shoulders. Many dungeon masters stand up, right, and like use their entire body to portray a non-player character. Okay. And some do it with half their body, but even their head, like how you hold your head, how you move your hands, the cadence of your voice, the way you breathe, all of that. A dungeon master speaks with 1,000 mouths. A dungeon master lives with 1,000 hearts. And so when you put a non-player character in front of players, especially now that we live in Matthew Mercer's world, they are expecting you to inhabit that non-player character, right? You get a little bit of play, right? You don't actually. No, I was about to say, if it's just the serving person who brings your mutton, they don't care. Even nowadays, they want a crazy voice and good body posture and or bad body posture to represent even that. They want every non-player character that comes in front of them to be Joe Pesci or Sandra Bullock or Michelle Gellar or a great actor, right? Ed Norton's my favorite actor. He's incredible. Nicole Kidman, and they are expecting that. They want the dungeon man, and this problem has gotten far worse under Matthew Mercer. The Matthew Mercer effect is powerfully real, right? And only getting more powerful. The new Critical Role campaign 3 is blowing up like crazy. I can't believe how much juice Matthew Mercer's got. And with Marisha Bray and Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham, it's incredible, right? And the expectation that you will be a good actor for every NPC that comes across the screen is here now and growing with intensity by the minute, right? So acting is important, right? And so one of the things is when and as a dungeon master, okay, normal human being, you get to watch a movie. You get to watch a television show. You don't have to take notes. You don't have to be careful and watch. You're like, do I like it? Do I not? Once you're a dungeon master, every television show, every movie you're watching, you're like, I just watched Dune. Powerful film. It's like, look at what, there's a scene where, I won't spoil Dune for you. Sorry. Oh, that book's 50 years old, right? Okay. There's a scene where I'll be careful not to spoil her. There's a scene where Oscar Isaacs is, he's just laying down, right? And he can't move, right? He's totally alive. But he's struggling. He doesn't have his normal mobility, right? It's incredible, right? Like, I'm just watching him. I'm like, he's debilitated and he's projecting that with every ounce of his being, right? And he's not even talking, but I can see the acting that's happening, right? And it's just so powerful. And the other thing is, one of the reasons why I struggle with this is I think what actors do to be good at acting is ridiculous. Like they're like me ma moo ma ma me ma, do voice exercises. And I have a daughter who had a friend who went to college, and I was talking to him about his what he's doing to become an actor. And he said it's real. Like he's like, well, this week we spent a day being trees. And I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah, imagining we were trees, that we were rooted to the ground and putting our arms here. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Who should spend time doing that? And I'm like, me. Like, I need to understand acting to bring these worlds alive. Okay. Now, so it's people spend their entire lives doing this, and this is just a bullet point for us. We have to master it as just one of 10 plus disciplines, right? What if we get it wrong? Here's the biggest part, man. Real deal. Once you set into that dungeon master's seat, people are terrified of public speaking. And what you need to understand is dungeon mastering is public speaking. You are inviting people into a space, right? It might be your home, it might be a public space, it might be a library, and you're saying, I'm going to take your time, right? And I'm going to take 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours of your life, right? And in that time, I'm going to control what happens, right? And we live in a world where offense is easier than ever. Language, we as humans have done a fantastic job. We're at an all-time low for war. Okay, like there's places where there are skirmishes, right? But in World War II, like humans were just hacking people apart, right? Like it was a grind fest, right? It was just like there were humans for no good, actually, no, that's not true. There was good reasons for World War II. World War II, humans just went at each other, right? And just tore each other apart, right? And we've reached a point where that's not happening anymore, right? And we are very, Afghanistan was a long war, right? There was not a single missing in action. America does not have a single missing in action from that war. We are getting way better and ratcheting down what war is and what it means, right? And but all of that energy and all of that gravitas and all of the agita that was in World War II, that's all moved to language. The new battlefield is language, right? And people can be offended if you get language wrong. And so you were really under immense pressure as a dungeon master to execute perfectly across every layer of the game, right? And when you do acting, you might pick up when you say, this is the way this person moves their body, right? Or this is the accent they use. Offense is a centimeter away, right? And again, you can have, and now, right? Used to be just at your kitchen table. You get this wrong when you're live streaming. There is risk behind being a dungeon master. People are wary of it for very good reason, right? Things can go sideways hard when you're a dungeon master, right? And so you stand at minimum. You stand to offend someone at your table, but you might offend somebody publicly. It is incredibly risky, and it is not for the faint of heart. So we call people to dungeons, and we call people to be the dungeon master at great peril, in my opinion. This is not to be taken lightly. And acting is simply the second discipline we're called to master. All that's my opinion. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.